Well, welcome once again to another episode on Life Signatures Radio. We are doing a series. We are actually coming towards the close of this series. And in the next one or two episodes, we'll be calling it a day. The series has been about potential. We've been discussing potential, and specifically, even after laying a good foundation for it, we started talking about the 10 ways you can know you are not deploying your God-given potential. Of course, we've already gone and done nearly 8 ways that you can be able to tell that you are not exercising your God-given potential. You can review the previous episodes just to see where you are at. And today we're going to add one more. And then tomorrow we call it a day on the series of potential. There's just too much to talk about. But then again, once we're talking about the ways you can know you are not fulfilling your potential, I think it's invaluable information that you can be able to use at this moment in time. So stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
The 11 ways you can tell, not the 11, the 10 ways you can tell you are not utilizing your God-given purpose, your God-given potential. Number 1, you are not living on purpose, because purpose and potential are connected to the hip. The potential you have indicates the purpose that you have in life. So if you're not living on purpose, if you're not deploying your purpose, chances are that you also not utilizing your God-given potential. Number 2, you know that you are not living your God-given potential when you're just living to survive. Just survival. For you, it's just surviving. This focus on survival, like we had spoken about, it's not necessarily that you're struggling to make ends meet and so on. It's like you are comfortable just doing life for yourself. You want to pay your bills, not bother anybody, and that's just about it. Instead of trying to live this life in such a way that there is a positive impact because you lived. There's a contribution from you. There's something farther than just paying bills, farther than just having a cozy life. But there's something about you creating something notable. If you're doing just focus on survival, you will not be fulfilling your God-given potential. The third reason as to why I believe that you might not be utilizing your potential is when you do not introspect. To introspect is to ask yourself these probing, reviewing questions about your life. Is this the best? Can I do better? What is the percentage of productivity that I have deployed today? Asking yourself these reviewing questions enables you to see places in your life that are gray areas in terms of your purpose deployment and your potential deployment. And therefore, if you don't ask these questions, you will not know where you're going wrong. You'll not know the things that you need to pull up, the things that you need to stop, the things that you need to start, the things that you need to improve, and so on. Unless you do a review, you cannot know. Number 4, you are not deploying your God-given potential. Why? Because you're thinking that you don't have gifts and you don't have talents. Now that you cannot play football, you cannot play a piano or a musical instrument, you cannot speak, you're thinking that you are not gifted, you're not talented. And therefore, what do? You do just about the survival that we talked about. And therefore, your potential goes unutilized and untapped. The fifth reason as to why you might not be using your potential is because you are working, yes, but the work that you're doing doesn't utilize the most of the potential that you have. Your main work doesn't utilize your gifts and your talents. So in that way, you know that you're spending 8 hours in a day or more, every day, every week, more than I don't know how many hours in a week, that you're not using your potential to do your main work. So the fact that you're working doesn't mean that you're using your potential. We need to get that clear. The sixth reason is that you're fitting in instead of standing out. That's why you're not utilizing your potential. You are scared of what people will say when you do something different. And the seventh reason as to why you are not utilizing your potential is because you're afraid. You're afraid of doing the things that are different, like we talked about. And then number 8, yesterday we talked about procrastination. When you procrastinate the things that you're supposed to be doing today, you want to do them tomorrow, next week, you are creating an avalanche of not using your potential. And it's one of those debilitating things. Today, to discuss one of the ways that you can know you are not utilizing your potential is number 9, when you are shirking responsibilities. So there is a call in your organization for volunteers to do things that they, could spare some time, spare their gifts and spare their talents to use to do those things. You know that you could do it, but you're not throwing your heart in the ring. That's one way you know that you're not utilizing your God-given potential and opportunities. Sometimes you find that your feedback in life is someone needs to do something about this. That someone is you. It's not the government. It's not the people in leadership. It's you. The one who has seen something that needs to be changed, something that needs to be repaired. It's you. You're it. Have you ever caught yourself saying that? Someone must do something, someone needs to do something about this. And you're not just saying it for the sake of saying it, you're actually saying it with a lot of passion. Have you ever been angry at how things are going and yet nothing is changing? Is that all you do and leave the matter to rest? Being angry and saying someone needs to do something about this? That is shirking responsibility. Start by asking yourself, why is it that it is you who is noticing this mistake? Why is it that it is you that is seeing that this thing can be changed, or this thing can be done differently? Why is it that you want someone to do something about it and it is you who has discovered that it needs to be changed? How come? Probably that is only you who is seeing it. Maybe there is no someone else. Maybe even the ones in leadership are not seeing it the way you're seeing it. Isn't it interesting that the other people around you, they don't see it the way you do? There's gotta be a reason as to why you've seen it. It is connected to your potential. Sometimes the things we are passionate about, they are kind of like hooks calling us to start deploying our potential. If you're passionate about something and you want it changed, you're angry about something, you want it changed, chances are that that passion, that anger is a hook that if you start engaging, you will invariably be forced to stop and think and to go deep into your potential and start exercising it. So another question to ponder on is this: who is this someone that you want to change? things that you have noticed? Who is this that you want to be responsible for that change? Even if you are not directly responsible for that change, just saying that someone needs to do something is not good enough. Part of potential exploitation is excavation and the follow-up with your passion. Passion is never useless. It's a hint. There is a treasure trove of potential every place where you see passion. Where there is passion, there is a voice of potential speaking. When you listen to that voice and do what needs to be done, one way or another, you find yourself tapping into the potential that you already are having. So you are it. At times you might find that you are it. You are the one who needs to solve that particular problem. There is nobody to do something other than you. You are it. You are the one with the passion to do it. And every time you do something to change things from the original state to a new state, your potential is going to be utilized, going to be cultivated. And at times you do not have the capacity to do what needs to be done. But that still doesn't excuse you from your responsibility. Every time you recognize that change needs to be effected, all the time you have done that to find an avenue through which you can participate, you are being a leader. And leadership is one of those ways of excavating potential. The beauty about leadership is that you don't need to know everything. You don't need to have capacity to do everything, but you can facilitate, you can influence. And that's part of potential excavation. So it could be through advocacy, through lobbying, through masterminding, through networking, through leading, through fundraising. It could be community mobilization, whatever it is that it takes for something to change. But don't you ever see responsibility that has come to you through your passion. You've recognized something that needs to be done, and then all you do is say, somebody needs to do something about this. You could be it. So look into that. It could be your potential calling for you. Tomorrow we end this. Until then, bye-bye.